I am not a financial advisor, and I never give financial advice on this channel. 100% of this content is for entertainment purposes only. Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. It's Lane here with hetashakl. I'm going to be going over the Theta charts here really quickly. Just kind of a quick update to see how things have been progressing. And this is for Chris Birch, 2518, who asked, can we get a Theta update please? We hit the fair value gap at 60 cents. Thank you hetashakl, great TA. First, we'll take a look at the video that I released on March 20th going over Theta, and we'll see how it's progressed looking at the current charts. So let's get into this. So there's a lot of different ways that this could go. Is this the bottom of the pattern now? And if we come and take out this low right here, then there's a good chance the combination of the weak dojis being the fair value gap weak doji combination could put this bottoming out right here. But if it does break below and sweep this pattern, it might be a good idea to have a couple limit buy orders laddered in this area to add to your position if you want to get a better average on the swing back up, especially if you've been holding from higher levels. That would be a good area to target if that's something that you wanted to do. That's certainly something that I would do. But I likely wouldn't put any orders anywhere above the bottom of this fair value gap right here. That way, I would only fill those orders in the event that it came down and actually hit this area. And in doing so, would likely be a flash crash, so it would be a short time before the price recovered, moving to the upside, reducing my risk. And I would not use leverage. I would just put it in a spot position, because if that candle swings down here too much, it could inadvertently fill all of those orders and then liquidate you at the same time, basically just transferring your money straight to the exchange, which is something that you do not want to do. So as you can see from the current charts, this is March 20th, where I made the video that you just saw that clip from. You can see that the price has actually pulled down since then, came down here. This was the low that we were thinking at the time could have been the pattern low, but as we now know, we took out that low, forming this low right here, and eventually even took out that previous low. So we have set a new pattern low right here. We did come right through the fair value gap down into the area that I was talking about in the video, where it could be a good idea to ladder some buy orders down here to accumulate a larger position for the move back up. And although if you did set any orders anywhere in this area, you likely already got filled, but there's still a good chance, I believe, that what we're going to end up seeing is something like this, to where we wick back down before we start to move up. So it could be a great idea also to place additional limit buy orders down in this area if that's something that you wanted to do. And it certainly isn't financial advice. But in the event that we come down, take out this pattern low right here, and go approximately down to this point, which on my charts is the -6 line on the Fibonacci, since we already took out these two weak doji points here, this would likely be the last remaining target before moving to the upside, which could possibly bring the price down to about that 57, 56 level, somewhere in here, as this line right here ties all the way back to here on previous price action from a previous breakout, being tied back to this weak doji area right here before we broke out and then saw this huge move up right here that just keeps on going. Still going. Right up to there. Took a while. And another thing that you want to look at is what I was talking about in my last video. We have this waterfall moment that occurred right here back on January 31st, 2025, where the price fell off the waterfall, forming this weak doji candle right here. And if we mark this weak doji out just like we did on the previous video, which was the Bitcoin chart, a person could theorize that it could be possible Once this price breaks out of these lows, we very well could see a situation where price gradually finds its way back up to that weak doji right here at the waterfall, just like I showed you in the previous video on the Bitcoin chart. Now, if you look at that and consider the possibility that it could come down here and reach this 56, 57 level, maybe laddering some buy orders anywhere between this pattern low and that 56 level. If we did get a breakout and you were lucky enough to pick up some shares down here just below the pattern low, and it did come up here to this weak doji, that right there would be about a 220% increase, taking the price from that 55 level, or even to the current levels that we're at now, trading at 72 cents, all the way back up here to approximately that $1.92 level. Something to think about, something to consider. Certainly not financial advice, but in the world of trading setups, especially relating to weak dojis, what we're seeing right here on these charts is one of the trade setups that I have been back testing. But this situation does not come up very often. You have to wait a considerable amount of time before these swing trades are even possible to consider. So don't think by any means that I'm making an invitation here for you to do something. That's up to you to decide. I'm here just giving you entertainment. But the potential of that setup has a lot of upside to it. And it seems like at this point, looking at the overall pattern, the downside risk is fairly limited at this point. We are literally at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, going all the way back to right here, which was in September of 2020 when we broke out of this pattern. Basically, this entire time we have traded above that line. So in the world of premium and discount, I'd have to say that that is an incredible discount we're looking at right there, especially if the price comes back down here to the -6 line. That's going to be the best discount price we've seen in Theta going all the way back to September 2020. Nobody who bought anywhere in here, period, got as good of a price as you have the potential to get right here. Think about that, especially if we go on to attempt to break out of this pattern here and eventually go on to set a new all-time high, which is resting right up here around that $15.87 mark. That would be an incredible run. Think about picking that up from this point and just holding it until that time. You could be looking at about a 24x if a person accumulated at the current lows and then held it until a new all-time high was set. That would be incredible. That would turn $1,000 into $24,000. That would turn $10,000 into $244,000. That's a hell of a profit. But overall, I think this chart looks very promising. It's done pretty much what I had expected, but I still believe that we're going to sweep this low right here, being the pattern low on the vast majority of charts that we're seeing right now before we break out. That doesn't mean that they're all going to do it, but I think a great many of them will sweep that low, taking out the last little bit of liquidity here and then trying to catch everybody slipping right before the breakout comes, which I do believe we are getting very, very close to. Theta likely won't follow the same pattern as XRP, so translating the XRP breakout chart into Theta, it's kind of a case-by-case basis. They're most likely going to move in the same direction, but they're not going to react the same. They're not going to move at the same time. They may move together eventually, but you have to consider that there are key differences between the two of these, and they function very differently. So thank you so much for watching this update on Theta. I really appreciate each and every single one of you. Please do me a favor and hit the like button. It really helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.